nostalgia hunters. We're here again today with myself, Jeffrey. We got Andy, we got Mike, and the Deuce over there in the corner. And we're going to talk about something from my childhood that I still personally love to this day. And we've actually already kind of talked about them a little bit beforehand, but that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We talked about the Turtles in Time game once before, but today we're going to specifically talk about the very first live-action movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and kind of a comparison of the two. So my first... Yes, Andy.
Question, sir.
Yes, Andy.
Yeah, I bet you have the same question I do.
So, are we voting?
Yeah, what are we voting on?
1 versus 2, or
We'll do both.
I think we'll do both.
Which do you like better? And after you like one better, would you still say either of these would even be?
I thought it was
like
clever
that
of you guys trying to escape
opinions.
the
Yes.
nostalgia vote. They tried to escape the nostalgia vote by making movie 1 versus 2, where you cannot vote.
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay.
We'll say which we like better out of the two, and then we'll just say out of them, would they still be cool today if it came out today and everything like that.
That's
All
fair.
right. I'm of the opinion we judge both of them separately.
Well, we can judge both
sides.
sides. We'll talk about which ones we like better,
Okay.
and we can do the same thing right there. We can say, well, if 1 came out today, yes or no. If 2 came out yesterday, we can do all of the above.
Okay.
But first, I have a question for all of you, and then I have treats.
Oh shit!
So my
Really,
first
really
question
good.
is, what is your first memory seeing either one of these? Me personally, I actually saw the original Ninja Turtles in theaters when I was young. I don't remember almost anything about the experience other than the opening when they're in the sewer and you see the shadows go and then the title comes up on screen and then he runs out and he's like, "Exit!" all that kind of stuff. That's literally the only memory I have of it in theaters, but I do remember that. And then the part 2, I watched that one all the time as a kid, but I don't think I ever saw it in theaters.
I can go next. These movies came out when I was...
Well, like 2?
3 and 4.
Oh my god, I was just kidding, but you were actually young.
But even so, like they would have gone to VHS and whatnot, but I have never seen them until I went to the theater with you to see the first one.
Yes, for my 42nd birthday, we went and saw part 1 in the theater.
Yeah, as your little birthday present. And it was a great time. And now that I've seen them, I really wish I did see them as a kid.
So you hadn't seen either of them until recently?
No, neither of them.
Wow.
I've never seen either of them, and they are like perfectly made for kids. Like you could tell that was the target audience.
Okay.
And I wish I had seen it back then.
I guess I'll go. I was 10 when the first movie came out. And so I remember the cartoons, had been watching the cartoons for probably a couple of years, even in my small farm town with like 3 cable channels. We actually got afternoon cartoons, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was one of them. And I think they also played it on Saturday mornings too. So I was able to catch it then. But yeah, saw it in the theater, saw it with friends, and it was fantastic. So
I'm definitely looking forward to your experience here.
First one, I was less than 1 year old.
I wasn't even a wink in my daddy's eye.
I think I'll be probably was less than a year old, I'm assuming it's a summer blockbuster.
It was an independent movie, actually.
Yeah, it was actually a very small budget.
It was the highest grossing independent movie of all time until the Blair Witch Project, I believe.
New Line Cinema movie. They're always low
Yeah,
budget.
because everybody turned it down because they filmed it without distribution company, and then they kept around shopping around. And it was like, no. And
it did become a hit.
Yes.
But it was not projected to be one.
Mm-hmm.
So my experience is I cannot put a pin on when I first saw these because I don't remember the story. I just know there's a crazy puppet fox, or I thought it was a fox.
A rat.
It was a rat?
Yeah.
That's Master Splitter.
You know what? He does kind of look like a fox in these movies. He looks sort of like a fox.
I thought he was a fox when I was a kid. And
even in the movies,
what I saw more
was
the cartoon. I still remember, I thought they skateboarded a lot more than they did in the movies. And I knew the love for pizza was like huge. It was like their food.
which the second
which
movie
is actually
went
added by the
all out
cartoon.
on.
That
All
wasn't,
in, yeah.
if I remember right, that
And
wasn't part
The
of the
first one
comics.
had the Domino
That was added by the
sponsorship.
cartoon.
The second one didn't.
And my real knowing of them was, my most experience with them was in fighting games, which they were part of. I don't know which Capcom games or something.
Teenage Mutant Ninja knows Konami.
Konami
and they made 2 different versions. Actually 3 different versions. One for the original NES, which is actually a super rare game. It's one of the late ones, and it's very expensive. There's a Super Nintendo version, which is awesome, and then there's a Sega Genesis or Mega Drive version that is not so awesome.
So I definitely played that on someone else's console a whole bunch, versus mode, and fighting each other with that. That was my experience. All right, here's the
So
goodie
because of
bag.
the first question being answered,
Okay.
we get our first treat.
Oh, wow.
We have to
are they-
perform tricks for you
are they-
for these treats.
Anyone that knows
Are they,
me, which
are they
obviously
ball
you all-
gags?
Yeah, hide it.
It's funny you say that.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
It's funny you say that. I actually have. I don't care if they see that. Anyone that knows me knows I have a lot of toys and props and whatnot. So
Oh, Casey Jones.
Casey Jones.
so that is the first of a few treats.
Which, gosh, I just watched the second one and I
Wonder why
realized
he's
he wasn't
I
in
think
there.
you're just gonna need to wear that the rest.
Just wear it to the rest of the podcast.
I'm doing the
Just
interview.
channel
in
your
this.
inner Casey
Did
Jones.
they ever explain why he wasn't in the second one?
Yes, we can actually talk about that. So, sorry, but I just don't want you to be on the computer. So, the first movie came out, and a lot of parents actually complained and wrote to different people, like pissed off, saying that it was too violent, right?
Oh, he's going
So-
in.
Oh, he's gone in.
That
There we go.
so for that reason, like you notice a tonal.
Yeah, that's way more badass.
Looks perfect, man. But because of all those complaints, you can see there's a big tonal shift between 1 and 2 when it comes to, like, 1 is a lot darker, and then 2 becomes more kind of like, hey, Cowabunga, like a little more like kid friendly. And they took Casey Jones out of it because of his like aggressive, more darker nature. And Kino was actually created in part 2 as a replacement for Casey Jones.
And Kino was much more goofy, happy-go-lucky.
Very goofy.
And you've
Also-
never seen Kino in any other Ninja Turtles stuff other than Secret of the Ooze. But that's the reason he was gone, is they thought him as too dark.
I thought Kino was amazing at martial arts, though.
The
I
actor,
thought he was the
the
best.
actor is.
He was the guy in the
high
suit
kicks
playing
and
Donatello
everything.
in part 1. There was a guy that was the guy in the suit, like the stunt guy, whatever, doing all the martial arts, that I think he got like hurt. And the Ernie Reyes Jr., which plays
Reyes.
Kino, was brought in to replace him and take care of all the martial arts stuff as Donatello. And then they liked him so much they brought him back as Kino.
Well, he did. He was just my opinion, he was the best part of the second movie, really.
You guys,
Really?
Yeah.
you guys all seen the Last Dragon, right?
Bruce Lee?
Last Dragon? No. Oh wow, you guys haven't seen the Last Dragon? Wow, we need. Okay, that's we'll get to that.
We can get to that.
Anyway,
That
Ernie
was
Reyes
before
Jr.
this.
is a little kid in that movie, and he's a badass in that movie as a kid.
He's also a surf ninja.
Yeah, he's a surfing. I forgot about that. Yeah, I hated that. I even hated that movie as a kid.
I did too. It's garbage, but it's good garbage. It's make
it's-
fun of it, bad movie.
It is
garbage.
actually to make fun of it. It's so bad, it's good kind of garbage. So you can't hate on it too much. But
Yeah. When I saw the first one, I was like, are they this serious about it, or is this satire? And then I later on found out more that it was kind of satirical take on action movies of how the first comic was written. Because I was watching that and I was like, this looks like satire. And the way they had like the Asian kind of things that the Splinter teaches and everything. And it was like, this is like bordering on like satire, like how
Well,
they want
it's
to
funny
translate.
you say that.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff from, well, not a lot of stuff, but some of the stuff from Ninja Turtles is, I don't know if Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman were just huge Daredevil fans, or they just chose to pull from that.
yeah, uh-huh.
But Splinter is a take on Stick, which is a character in the Daredevil comics.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And then the foot is a take on the Hand from the Daredevil comics.
That's right. Okay.
Oh my god!
I don't know who Stick is, but I know
He's the guy that
I know the Hand.
I think he was one of the guys that trained.
Both
Daredevil.
Elektra
Oh,
and
okay.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like one of the
So
masters.
Stick got hit with the ooze on the head, and that ooze bounces and falls into the storm drain, and then goes and makes the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's
canon,
the story. That's
by
the
the way.
canon story.
That's canon story.
Wait, seriously? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's funny.
So 2. Anybody else see 2 in theaters? Did you see 2 in theaters?
If I did, I don't remember.
I did. I also went with friends, and I remember being a little bit disappointed with it, but I liked it.
And you
a
were
lot.
how old at
But
the
I
time?
liked it a lot. I
Probably
would have been 11.
11.
Yeah,
I was
because
mad
it
at
was
the
a
whole
year later.
Toka and Razor thing instead of having Bebop and Rocksteady.
That was actually going to be one of my talking points.
Go for it.
Okay, so how should we do this? Should I talk about
Just
a little,
conversational, man.
little
Whatever
bit?
comes up,
All
comes
right,
up.
so 2, like Toka and Razor and 2. Actually, here, real quick, I love the first one just because it was darker, it was grittier. It was almost like a combination because the early comics were very violent, and then the cartoons lightened that. And so the first movie was almost like a combination or influenced by both. And also they had really low budget, so everything was actually darker, grittier because they didn't want to show off how like how little money they had, the little money for the suits and stuff like that. Apparently the suits always fell apart and stuff like that. So it kind of all added to that movie just being kind of dark, grungy, and kind of awesome. I thought it was very grounded. Also, the writing of it was very grounded. Like, it had some serious beats, even though it didn't take itself too seriously. Mm-hmm. And then the second one just went off the rails kids. Like, it was like literally like, here's an episode of the cartoon in live action formats. And Toka and Razor, to get to that point, is... yeah, they should have done Rocksteady and Bebop. I was disappointed because they didn't do
What
Rocksteady
animals
and
were
Bebop.
they?
And they also did not do Baxter Stockman while having a professor that literally made Rocksteady and Bebop. They could have had Baxter Stockman.
Part of that was because of Peter Laird and Kevin East, or did I just say? Yeah, well, Eastman and Laird. They didn't like the idea of putting Bebop and Rocksteady in there, and so that's why Toka and Razor were created.
Yeah, and they made them like infants, and it was very infantile.
Oh
It was-
my God,
It was great.
okay.
It was
Yeah.
great for comedy for kids.
Mama.
Yeah,
The
Mama, like
Mama
Mama the
baby.
Shredder. Yeah.
Yes, the
Damn, baby!
Yeah. Yeah. Shredder was just chewing scenery.
best
That was
line in the movie, and also
hilarious.
the worst line in the movie.
I also like the Toka, Razor, attack.
Yeah. That dude, okay, so the second movie had a lot of quotable lines. Like, actually, one of my favorite lines is like, I'll take the ugly one. No, you take the ugly one.
Which
no.
one's the ugly
and then
one?
I'm like, no, I got the ugly one. Which one's the ugly one? It's like Michelangelo. I was like, that's a fantastic. It actually has a lot of quotable lines in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The first one just had a lot more balance to it, right? It definitely knew when to be humorous. However, I would say some of them went a little bit too far in being goofy. But then it would bring it back down to earth, and it would have a little bit of darkness to it. But then the second one, man, it was just like you said, it was just a live action version of the cartoon.
Like, the setup in the first movie, like, it was great because it's like, here's like this, crazy mutant Ninja Turtles and whatnot. And the setup was basically, they kept it real grounded of like going, here's this like organized crime ring. They're doing things, they're stealing stuff for money or whatever. They're building out like a network. They're recruiting kids. Like there's all this stuff going on, like kind of all these layers of a story. And the second one doesn't have any of that.
Well,
just none of that.
I mean, to that point, what's really funny is like in the first one, like Shredder was a badass.
Oh yeah,
Like he beat the hell out of the turtle.
You're
and
actually
then
scared of him.
Splinter just happened to, take care of him. I don't like the way that happened, but I think the reason they had that is because like of what Splinter could do as a puppet. So they had to do something with him. So it is what it is on that. But then they get to the second movie, and suddenly he's like, I need other mutants to be able to take care of the turtles. I'm like,
already
you already
tried.
beat their ass once before. You could do it again.
Well, he
And
literally
then-
says in the movie, "I already tried. I can't do it. I need."
Yeah,
other people
but you already did beat him. And when you look at it, other than at the very end with Super Shredder,
I was just
where
about to go
Leonardo,
off.
he picks Leonardo up and then throws him and then ends up killing himself by knocking shit on his head.
So stupid.
He never actually touches the turtles. Like there's no contact between them other than that one time with Leonardo, and he
Yeah.
throws them. So
Well, he
there's
had
no
that spear,
fighting.
he had that spear thing that he was fighting them with in the second one.
Spear
Or was that
thing?
the first one? Was that
He
the
fought
first
him in
one?
the first
Yeah.
one.
Okay, I watched both of them today, so I guess I got that. I guess I got
Yeah,
that.
no, he didn't actually
I just
fight
remember
them in
the
the second
Super
one.
Shredder just being the dumbest thing ever. Like even in the
Yeah.
theater,
His
as a
suit
kid,
grows,
as an
yeah.
11-year-old kid, I'm like, why is he doing that? He's just gonna kill it. He's like, good. I'm
It
like,
wasn't so. It was like if you grew, it should be like a Hulk, and he's ripping his armor off. Instead, his armor also gets bigger. With
Yeah, his
his
armor also
he has
gets
a
bigger.
lot more
It's
things on
like the
him.
Fantastic Four outfits. It was built to where when their body changes, it changes with them.
And apparently you get stupider too because he literally like just turned into a beast of a person.
I was actually
Well,
curious
he was
because
using the mix that,
the professor, but
turned him into a baby.
But did the professor? Yeah, but did the professor do that before? Because this was the raw ooze, I thought.
Well, but think about it. The canister was
I
kicked
don't
out of
know.
his hands by Kino, so he
Yeah.
didn't have it. He had that little vial.
Yeah.
But he also said that Dr. What's his butt? I can't remember his name right now. He even says a line there is like when he was, making changes to the Ooze to make Token Razor intellectually inferior.
Yeah,
So
but
he did something to make him super.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like,
did
did the vial? Was it the original stuff, or was it after the doctor tampered with it? If it was after the doctor
The
tampered with
original.
it, then I buy him being stupid and
I think
everything.
it was the
I
original
still
stuff,
think
yeah.
it's dumb because that should have been an awesome fight.
Yeah,
We all got robbed.
But also look at that. There's almost no fighting at all in part 2 because again, the parents complain about stuff. So they actually
there's
just kind of
barely any
stand
weapon.
around and then like they might have like one little punch and then the guy's like, "Oh, I'm down."
Or
That was
And they never use their freaking weapons other
scene
than
with
play
Mikey with
games
the
like when they're
yo-yo.
like grabbing
Yeah.
Donnie's
My big-
stick and
My big takeaway, first thing that was actually refreshing and I liked it, was the stakes were so low in that it's not world-ending crime. They're not big murders.
Oh, yeah,
They're stealing
true.
a bunch of TVs and VCRs.
Yeah.
That's what these kids are doing.
they're not even
And I
saving
was
the
like,
city really outside
Oh,
of like
this
some
is
petty
like
theft.
what Spider-Man movies are supposed to be like. It's like friendly neighborhood stuff. It's not like crazy stakes, and they still made Shredder this still like monstrous guy. It's all build up. Like he doesn't look that
seriously,
terrifying.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
I just have to complain. Like Shredder just somehow lives after they pulled a Palpatine with him.
Oh,
where
after
it's
the trash
yeah, the
compactor?
second episode, he's just like,
well, what's
I'm
funny,
still alive.
so here's the thing. Originally, what Eastman and Laird were hoping for is in part 2, Shredder would even be there. And they would be able to reintroduce him in part 3 and have him like have survived and everything. But think about it, like when he's in the dump truck, like it showed him squeezing the helmet, but maybe it didn't actually. He was up.
Yeah, but then the
Come
helmet was
on.
fine at the start of
He
2.
should have
when they-
died.
Yeah, I know that was
Like that didn't
yeah,
make any sense.
It didn't. But I'm like, maybe it just like crushed on the helmet and then got stuck because we never actually saw blood and it squishing him or anything like that.
Also,
So,
that's a
like,
little
I'll buy
gory
that,
for a
but-
kids
What
movie
would you
that
think-
they like compressed
What'd
him.
you think about?
That was actually like removed and edited in different countries that had different like
Oh my God.
rules for like stuff on movies. Like
Okay.
nunchucks are apparently were like illegal and stuff in like England and things. So every scene that had those had to be removed.
Actually, shout out to the British or people that had their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles edited. It's actually called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Because the word ninja
and a lot of
and
other
nunchucks
places
were not allowed.
The word ninja just basically wasn't allowed because parents thought the ninjutsu and stuff like that was bad and it would make their kids
Evil.
like
What's
Ninja
also
is
weird
a
is I saw
assassin.
somewhere saying where like
Yeah.
how they had to remove any images of chain sticks, and I was like, "What the hell's a chain stick?" And I look it up, nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
So apparently they call them chain sticks too, I guess.
So that for me, when I saw the movie, I just kept going because I came from the fighting game, right? And I picked characters based on what weapon they had. I'm like, why are they not using their weapons? The whole time I'm going, why is he not like
Blame the parents in the '90s.
the size were the ones which like Raphael used were the ones that were most, I think, present. Was it Raphael who had the size? So I think that was the most present, and everyone else barely used their weapons.
Leonardo would only ever use his weapons and get them lost, or he'd use them like stick them in the ceiling. And
Yeah.
use them. Michelangelo pretty much never used them. He'd just like either do this, or he'd just hand fight with people, or pull
Or
out
he
a
had
yo-yo.
sausage nunchucks.
Sausage
Yeah.
nunchucks.
The sausage nunchucks,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
And a yo-yo. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
the yo-yo. It's like
Yo-yo
around the
scene.
world.
And like I was saying earlier, like Kino was my favorite part of the movie, or favorite character of the movie, because like his moves and like the things he would do while he was fighting were really cool and fun to look at. But then the turtles, when they were fighting, like when they actually did fight, the very few times, they were slow and they never really connected. I know, but it just didn't look good at all.
So yeah, they actually they filmed it like a frame or two short than what they actually replayed it at. So instead of like 24 frames, they shot it at like 22 or 23 frames and then sped it up to make it look a little bit better. But then also like, I don't know what it was, but like in the first one, like it seemed like they were actually fighting.
Yeah.
And the second one, apparently they're having such a hard time seeing that's why you just see a foot soldier just kind of like floundering around and like that until a Ninja Turtle like finally finds him and hits him.
What do you guys think of the scene in 2 where one of the turtles gets thrown, I think, and he goes into basically as a bowling ball?
Yeah.
And then all the Foot Clan people are like, you can see the stunt guys just waiting to just jump over and be bowled over. And I'm just like,
see, that one didn't bother me near as much as like when they're like, step up to the bar, and like they're like, leap-o, leap-o, and they're like, guys are like literally just jumping over the pole and like falling down like they got hurt. I'm like, sidestep, done. So they just made them all freaking dumb. But you blame the parents of the 90s that complained about it.
Speaking of the foot soldiers, hold on real quick before I lose this. Speaking of the foot soldiers, one of the funniest parts to me in the second movie was when they're in the lab and like they all crowd in, right? And the fight starts and there's the dudes up in the background. They're just sitting there like this.
Oh, were they?
For like 20 seconds, not even joining the fight. They're just doing this in the background.
It's like their idle animation in a video game.
They're just
Like,
waiting for their turn.
They're just doing this.
Dude,
Oh, they're talking about the big tall one that catches the user goes, huh? Aha!
Oh yeah. I mean, there were moments like that all throughout the movie.
Oh my god, that too.
And that scene had so many mistakes.
Everyone was amping it up.
Like you see him like flipping and landing on like foam and everything that's at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. You see they're like grabbing at Mikey to get the Ooze, and you see Donnie actually on the ground like doing this with his bow staff. And then all of a sudden you see him over there, and he's like, oh, "Mikey, over here!" You know, like I'm like, you were just on the ground a second ago. I know that's when he runs 1, 2, 3, punt and kicks it.
They had 2 suits. So there's one where they're in expressive scenes, and that's all the animatronics.
All the animatronics.
And then in the stunt, you see like a goofy face because it's just stuck face because they're wearing a more lightweight suit so that they can do stunts.
I thought
so. That's why in the fights they look like this. Like it looks like they're like wincing or like they're in pain.
To be honest, I will say the second movie. I don't know if the first was the same way, but it really stuck out to me in the second movie. The animatronics actually were really good.
No, the first one was really good.
Jim
I was
Henson,
watching it. I was like, man, okay, they didn't have much budget, but they nailed that.
Yeah, those animatronics were great.
Well, so it's funny you mention that. So, just what they made for the first movie, because Jim Henson did 1 and 2. Some other company did the ridiculous psycho-looking Turtles Part 3. But no, Jim Henson did 1 and 2. And Jim Henson, Ninja Turtles was actually the last movie he did. He died like a couple months after that movie came out. But his company still did the suits for Part 2, and the technology had progressed to be even better, so it looked better. But funny enough, when they were filming Part 1, what was it? They were doing scenes in Wilmington, apparently, but they were too close to an airport. And so they were having like radio traffic signals. They were like affecting the suits. No. They were just like this. So they were having trouble parachuting.
Amazing. Holy shit.
I wouldn't even thought of that as being a problem, but yeah.
So North Carolina is where they shot it, right?
Yeah.
Not in New York or anywhere close to that.
Yeah. Wilmington, North Carolina. So funny enough, did the Foot Clan hideout look familiar to anybody?
In the first one,
the underground sort of arcade thing that you're talking about,
the warehouse, whatever.
Yeah, the warehouse
it was shot in an abandoned cement factory called Ideal Cement Factory. Now that is of note because that's also where they used the set for Dino Hatton in Super Mario Bros. From '93.
Oh lordy! Okay, no, I've only seen that movie like
I didn't recognize you. I just saw that and I was like, really?
I would not have made that connection.
No, I didn't catch it either.
Speaking of terrible movies I've seen in theater, I did catch that one. Oh, real quick, I guess. Did you guys notice the actors who changed between 1 and 2?
Oh, April O'Neil, you could definitely change.
April definitely.
That one.
April, and that was actually I was going to say. Then actually, how about the rest?
No, not
Voices?
Really. Nope.
Donatello and not Raphael, Leonardo both changed. One of them had Corey Haim. Donatello was Corey Haim in the first one, I think.
Feldman.
Or Corey Feldman. Yeah. Corey Feldman in the first one. And they got some other guy for the second one. Same thing for Leonardo. They're absolutely, and I watched them back to back. You can absolutely tell, they don't even try to sound like them. It is.
What is with the crazy mafia, Italian-y, kind of New York-y accent?
For Raphael's accent. The
Oh
Brooklyn
my,
accent.
so over.
They're in New York. They're in
Now,
New York.
Raphael and Michelangelo are the same through all three movies.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Speaking of Michelangelo.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh my God.
My boy. And those are the
donuts!
Are they the
With the
donuts they're going to
donuts.
give to Toka and Razar? That's awesome.
What? Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the donuts. Like they decided to put the antidote into the donuts, but then they also used whoever's idea it was to put it in ice cubes too.
So
Like,
it's a
why
donut
did
with the
they
ice
do
cube in it.
both? Why didn't they just put it in the donut? Why did they have to make
it
an
wasn't
ice
the-
cube and put it in the donut?
Because they're stupid. They'll eat anything.
Maybe it needed to stay cold. Maybe they didn't want it to soak into the donut or
Well,
like
when he was
fall out of
pouring
the
that
donut.
stuff into the glass, I'm like, it already looked like dough. You could
It
just
looked like
ground that
donut
and cook
batter.
it.
Yeah. Like
I think it was literally donut batter. And what I thought was also funny was they drop a pizza slice in there and they're like, oh, just nobody watch. I'm aerating. It's just,
And you would think that would have like done something, like they were
Right.
foreshadowing something was going to happen. No, it was just random pizza drop.
Yeah, no, that whole thing, like they, in part two, there wasn't a whole lot of brains that went into the writing. I compare it to where the first one literally kind of channeled the comics, kind of channeled the cartoon. Second one was just all cartoon. Entirely. All the way through. It didn't matter. If it didn't make sense, it didn't matter because it was fun. It was still fun.
Well, see,
Are you sure Michelangelo there is in frame?
he's where he's. I just put it there for you guys to be able to take a look at it
Andy,
if you
you
want. I
should
just
hold
set him
him.
there.
Give him a little hug.
all right. He showed it to the camera.
I did.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and see, like I only brought 3 of my Ninja Turtles things. I actually have quite a bit more. So I have, they're like, are they like 4, 6 inch maybe? I don't know. But figures of all the Ninja Turtles from Ninja Turtles 1. I have a big figure of Super Shredder from Part 2. I have another one of those, but it's of just Leonardo with his swords and stuff. And I know there's some other things that I can't remember right now, but I have a lot of random toys in my office. But no, I'm curious. I want to get this because I think you're going the same direction. I want to get this conversation with you. So when I was young, I didn't like Ninja Turtles 1. I liked Ninja Turtles 2, and that was my favorite of all of them. And I always hated Part 3, but I loved Part 2. And it felt more like the Turtles I knew from the cartoon because I saw it in the 87 cartoon. And for many seasons, I watched that. But weirdly enough, as I get older, I started liking Part 2 less and less and liking Part 1. Because it actually is the Ninja Turtles. They actually are using their weapons. Like some of the sword fights with Leonardo and the Shredder at the end are like pretty badass. And Part 2, you get to one like, you're never using your weapons. You're not actually fighting. And these like guys are literally just falling over around. Like, so it's weird that tonal shift as you get older is like, which one you prefer.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like when you were mentioning earlier, were you talking about the same thing?
Actually, when I was younger, since I was 10 and then 11 when I saw it, I was a little older than you. So in my mind, and I'd seen the cartoons, but I also knew that the comics actually existed. And I knew they were supposed to be darker. And when I saw the movie, I loved the first movie. Absolutely loved it.
I didn't know the comics when I was
young. And I absolutely loved the first movie. And then I saw the second one. I actually loved it too, but it was more popcorn love. And so like, back then I was like, I would have ranked them about the same. And in fact, I might have even thought that I liked 2 better. But as an adult going back and watching it, 1 is so much better of a film, so much better like acted. The setup is better, the story is better, the stakes are better. Like Hamato Yoshi that was murdered, him and his wife murdered by the Shredder. Like there's that whole background. Splinter's taken and tortured. Raphael is almost beaten to death, and he has to
Part 1 has Sam Rockwell.
Yes, Sam Rockwell and Skeet Ulrich. Yes,
I don't think I ever noticed that.
I can actually even show you the scene later.
Wait, where's Sam Rockwell?
He's they're one of their henchmen.
Henchman. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
the main
like
dude.
he's the one that he's
looks
like,
so
we have a
familiar.
loyalty to Shredder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Skeet Ulrich, because I remember looking at that guy, I was like, man, that looks like a really young Skeet Ulrich. And I looked it up, sure enough, it was him. And then I knew Sam Rockwell. But yeah, as an adult, just going back, like everything, like it was more grounded, even though like it was still, sensational and crazy, but it was more grounded. And even as a kid, I kind of recognized that a little bit. So I liked it for that. So I liked them for different reasons. But as an adult, especially watching it now, I think one is good for anybody. Like really, it's not overly violent for kids or anything.
Yeah, like there's some
especially
violence,
these
but it's
days.
not like
It's
that
not over
bad,
the it's not over the top, and there's some stakes. Like there's some stuff to actually learn as a kid watching something like this. Like there's
It's not senseless.
it's not
Right.
yeah, it's not senseless. There's they do things and there's a reaction. Like what happens? Like there's consequences. There's stuff like that. And these are real things, but it's not so over the top that it's going to traumatize a kid. So I think one is great, and then two is just kind of popcorn fluff, and I did not like it nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah, like I'll still watch it. I'll still have a good time with it. But it's
I
not
didn't-
like it
I
was
didn't
when I was a
hate it.
kid.
It just definitely paled in comparison, looking at it through different eyes.
Yeah.
Many years later.
For since me and Mike maybe are like watching for the first time now, really, because I barely remember any of it except their faces. One I thought had like really good bones as a movie. I think both of them have a good like story arc, but the whole they went to the barn and the whole old house and the whole moments there where they do a little more character development. And that part was funny to me when he goes on the roof and it's like Splinter. That's from a real thing from the comic, right?
Pisses me off so much
Why?
because if you look, that's Mikey on the roof, but it's Raph's voice screaming Splinter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You pointed that out to me.
It's such a little thing, but it bothers me so much.
There's another scene where they use the wrong turtle voice for the wrong voice for a
Yeah,
turtle.
I think it's in part 2. I think they do that. Like when they're like someone's like full volume. The voice is not the actual turtle doing it.
Yeah,
but I don't remember which ones they were.
there's at least one other time that
Yeah, there was like space for the two Casey and April to like form a kind of thing going on. I was like, it's not that long enough, but it's still there's some. They try to do that.
Well, they
all
actually cut a lot of scenes on the farm that were, I don't know if they were ever actually filmed or not, but there's a whole bunch of scenes that took place on the farm that fill in a lot of gaps in the story that ended up not being part of the movie. So there's extra footage to show of Casey and her like starting to kind of form a relationship.
You mentioned April. Favorite April.
Part 2. But that might be partly because when the movie I was attracted to the April in part 2 and I've never found the April in part 1 attractive. So that might be part of it. I don't know.
Hey, she wore the yellow jacket in the part 1.
You can say no strong opinion.
I think my favorite was part 1, April.
I am definitely
too.
I'm a part 1 April.
Me too.
She part 2 April looked like they went and got a suit. Actually, she did great. I actually liked the actress
pretty
who played.
good.
I thought both of them were really
Yeah.
good. I just thought like she was almost a little too intense, but she was actually more like the April O'Neil from the cartoon. Where the first April O'Neil
Which what they were going for
felt
too,
more
yeah.
like a real world take on like
Yes.
who April O'Neil would
she had
have
more
actually
to do,
been.
I
She had
think.
way more to do in
Yeah.
one. In 2,
Yeah.
she's just basically the
She was
person who
kinda
owns the apartment basically, and she goes around.
She's like the mom.
does this, something like that.
Which is like the cartoon where like April's like reporting on something and in the background Shredder and people show up and do things and the turtles are watching the show like it's Shredder and then the turtles go do stuff.
Yeah, I just liked the one April a little bit better because it was just like the more it felt right with the movie, like the tone and everything. It felt
Well, I
like
mean
a real world.
April
Where
2
2 was
would not
supermodel.
fit in part 1
2
and
is
I don't
definitely
think
supermodel.
April 1 would fit in part 2. Like they would not.
I actually agree with that, and I think they're both good. So
Yeah, they both did a good job.
I do prefer one though.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's just because when I was, I still find her attractive, but when I was younger, I was like, she's pretty. So I think that's part of why I like part 2 better. But also, like, I liked part 2 when I was younger better, so I don't know.
I was gonna say this part because in the comics, it's Master Oshi, right?
Yoshi or Oshi, yeah.
He becomes a rat and becomes Splinter,
That's the cartoon. That's the cartoon.
That's the cartoon, right? That's
Yeah,
the
the
cartoon.
comics
In the
and the movie
movie,
didn't do that.
in the movie, it's,
was the pet.
it's like this tiny rat doing
Dude,
kung
that's-
fu moves.
that's
and I'm
so
like, this
great.
is
But
so
I mean, that
goofy.
is what happened in the comics, though.
Yeah.
That's the story from the comics.
Oh,
He
really?
was a little rat,
Okay.
and the mutagen made him that way. So yeah, that was true.
I
in the
got it
comics.
mixed up in my head because I remember it long ago. Because it's the cartoon. Because there's a scene in the titles where he like shrinks
Yeah.
down and becomes a rat, right? That part was so goofy for me.
Yeah,
Where this is this
that's
rat
true.
doing little kung fu in
Yeah.
the cage,
I
and he
always-
comes out and then swipes Shredder.
I always loved how goofy that was. I loved it the first time I saw it, and I loved it today when I
Well,
watched
here's
it.
the thing: if you have a ninja rat, and you give him a little bit of this,
Ooh.
he becomes Splinter.
Wow,
There
you really went
It's
All right,
the Ooze
all right,
at the
Turtle.
end
We're
with
gonna
the-
make you special.
with the TGRI on it. Very
It's
nice.
the ooze, which is definitely not slime.
yeah.
It's a tiny
Yeah,
little
it's
ooze.
TGRI, so it's from the movie. Because
Somebody want to kick
in
this
the
over
comics,
the mic for me?
it would be TCRI in the comics.
Oh, it was TC.
Oh,
right?
okay,
comics,
tell us
yeah.
that little tidbit.
I don't remember exactly what it stood for, but like the C
No,
was
no,
like
no.
some specific like
already
like
drank it all.
alien race or something like that.
Oh, they're
And
I forgot their name.
But they weren't using the alien race, like Cosmos or something like that.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
weren't using the alien race in the movie, so they changed the name of the company and used a G instead.
They were robots or something, right? Like
I don't
actually,
remember.
all the company was like robots or something inside, so they were actually aliens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we wanted to rate each movie and then also maybe cage match them a little bit, should we start on that?
Oh, well, are we
yeah.
done with the treats? Have we performed?
Yeah, I only
enough?
brought the three. I only brought the three.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so, I mean, I've already explained mine. Like, I preferred part 2 when I was younger. Now I prefer part 1. And I would absolutely love to see another live-action Ninja Turtles movies, but not the CGI stuff.
Not the Michael
Or if
Bay
they
stuff.
did the CGI stuff, not CGI monsters where
Yeah.
they're like 12 feet tall or something ridiculous. Bring them short again because they're only supposed to be like 5 feet tall.
Oh, I thought the
And-
suits were great. Like, you don't even have to
yeah,
CGI
well, the suits
them.
were
Like,
amazing, but that's from our point of view. Like, the people in the suits were freaking dying.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was so hot.
Apparently,
in there.
there's a story on the internet. The reason why they didn't ask, I can't remember, her last name's Hogue, was the original April O'Neil. She was actually very upset about the working conditions
Yeah,
and the people
I
in
read
those
that
suits.
too.
And they didn't ask her back for the second one because of that. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I read on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah, I
And-
saw
they
that,
did-
but then I
they
also
did try
saw
to get
she
her
didn't
back
want to
for-
come back because of the violence in the first movie.
There's
so
that.
who knows? What
There's
the
that
story
Well,
too.
is.
so-
And it could be all those things.
True.
I will say also though, like a lot of the modern movies will actually do a bunch with makeup and not actual costume, like not suits that you put on and stuff.
So it's funny you say that.
Well, hold on a second, because like they try to make it a little bit more realistic, as like, oh, if this happened to an actual person, this is what it would look like. So I think you can maybe take that angle with it on a modern one.
I read the first pitch to Laird and Eastman to have a Ninja Turtles movie was to have 4 very popular comics at the time, and I think Billy Crystal was one of them. I don't remember all 4 of them. Essentially, be the turtles, and they were just gonna have them like wear a shell backpack and paint their skin green, and and they were gonna be the turtles. And
That was an
Oh,
actual
God.
pitch?
that's what I
Somebody
read.
thought that was a good idea?
That's what I read.
Just
Whether
put
that
Billy
actually happened,
Crystal
I
in
don't
it.
know.
It'll sell tickets. Wow.
Let's lean into satire fully, like crazy
I mean
madness.
that time in Hollywood was
That
definitely
might
very
be too much.
coke filled. So
Oh,
somebody
God.
probably
Yeah.
did actually think that was a real good.
I guess
idea.
we can all agree though, we don't want to go the Michael Bay route again.
No, absolutely not. But like, I'm fine doing the CGI if they make it look realistic and they shrink them down to be like normal size and not doing like 1,700 flips and kick. I'm like, what are you like floating in the air? We're like, ugh, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I prefer 1 now. What would you say you prefer?
Me, I was a little confused because I thought, hey, if we're just going for campy, 2 is more campy. With like a song, a dance, and
Go
like,
ninja, go ninja, go!
There was
and I'm like, it's not a bad.
There was
bad
literally
song.
no story in
Yeah.
2. It was like Shredder came back. He's very angry, wants to kill turtles, finds mutagen to help him make something to kill
Yeah.
turtles,
And then commit
Then
suicide.
that's it. And then commit suicide.
Commit
that is the whole
suicide.
story.
Jesus.
There's no other layered anything else in there.
No, I know. I think 1 is more. I like 1 mainly because of the farm sequence, in that it grounded it more. and Raphael was it Raphael that was out?
He was
Knocked out?
hurt.
Yeah, he was the one that was
He's
hurt.
the one who's knocked out in the tub, and like
He also
They're
got
forming-
kidnapped in the second one.
yeah, they're forming like a bond, and they all go and do this meditation thing together to like go connect to
Which is a
Splinter.
pretty emotional moment.
I thought they were gonna kill Splinter. How much he kept saying, "When I die, you have to know how to live," and then this dude keeps living through the movies.
Oh, he dies
Yeah.
later in the
Third one?
comics.
is it?
No, not in the movies. The Last Ronin comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Everybody dies in the last round.
I know. So
It's not a fun time.
Wonder if that'll ever be a movie.
Supposed to be a
That's-
video game, supposedly,
Video
and I
game.
am looking
Yeah, video
forward to
game,
that
yeah.
so
they're making
much.
that video game. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna play the hell out of that game.
So I'll vote. Initially, I saw it and I'm like, I hated it when I saw it this last week. But
out.
by the time I saw the second one, see, I knew it. I knew you guys would hate me. I saw the second one and I kind of got like, oh, I'm not the target for this movie.
Yeah.
And
We're not
I'll
the target
prefer-
demographic.
We're
for
just
sure.
going vote 1 versus 2. I'm going to vote 1 for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Monaghan.
Oh yeah. I've already explained. I liked 1 more than 2 for many different reasons, but I don't hate 2. I think 2's
Yeah.
fun. I think 2's fun.
Yeah, I mean,
if
obviously,
you're gonna hate one of them, you hate part 3. Go
Oh,
ahead.
God.
Yeah.
obviously, I'm the same way. One all the way. However,
Uh-oh.
I do think both movies are bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you've already
Yeah.
said that you're voting nostalgia here. So why do you say that?
Okay, so
We're just going to voting. Go for it.
yeah, we'll
Do it.
we'll flip over to the other voting. I think number 1, the humor was a little bit too much. Like they drew it out a little bit too much.
In both of them, or
No, in the first one.
okay.
And in number 1, the story, I don't know, there were points in it that felt really slow to me and felt like there could have been even more cuts made to it than were originally made. And the acting wasn't all that amazing. Maybe decent for an 80s, early 90s movie, but I don't
Well,
know.
keep in mind it was an independent film.
And it wasn't
a
any.
big
I
budget film,
get
so.
that, but I'm trying to judge it.
Targeting kids, but yeah.
Regardless of the budget, I just don't think it was all that
Oh,
great of a movie.
that kid's dad in the end. Who's that kid who has a storyline in the first movie? That he joins the
Oh,
band.
yeah.
He talks to Splinter.
Oh,
His dad was such over dramatically weird in the end. And he's like, I'm just Dan, Dad, not Danny anymore.
damn.
Dan. And I'm like, what is this crazy acting he's doing here?
So sadly, I don't think like it was. I enjoyed it enough to go see it in the theater, but it wasn't a movie that I would say I would appreciate. So I would judge the first one nostalgia. Second one was even
Crap tier.
worse.
Just trash. Straight
Take
trash.
everything that was bad about the first one and just amp it up times 20. And so that's definitely nostalgia. But still, I can't stop thinking about the fact that if I was 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old,
Yeah.
and saw these movies, I bet I would have freaking loved it.
Did you ever was Ninja Turtles part of your childhood at all?
Yeah. I watched the cartoons.
Like which one?
Oh, frick, I don't know. I mean, they were just cartoons to me. I didn't like...
Well, because there's been like 4 or 5 different cartoon iterations, and I feel like when you were young, like the '87 cartoon, maybe like what year were you born again?
87.
You were born in '87. Okay, so yeah, the original cartoon might have been.
Probably
it would
whatever
have still been kicking.
Probably
when you were
whatever
young.
the second one was, but yeah, Saturday morning or like afternoon cartoons. They had this. They had the originals playing all the way to the early 2000s easily.
Yeah, and I played a couple of the video games too and stuff. I wasn't super into TMNT.
Did you ever make your own Ninja Turtle weapons?
Yes,
Because I did.
No, but I did
All
play with
of
ninja
them.
weapons.
it's called the broom handle, and you became a bow staff.
I use this stuff. I'll keep this brief. It's like Lego, but it's called Constructs. but it's way more like you can put stuff together and it stays together.
Oh, those was like
And
plastic, like rods that snap into the
you can
little
snap
plastic thing,
you
yeah.
can snap them together. And I made nunchucks, and I used string to hold the nunchucks. I made the whole the Dontel bow staff, the size, the swords, and my friends. I had 3 other friends, and we all like would fight with them, basically, like
Nice.
play fight, and it was awesome. It was a great
I
time.
actually used to have a pair of nunchucks that was actually like the chain type style nunchucks. Like they weren't cheap.
Oh.
And everything like that. And I could actually, I think it's called like a figure 8 thing, and I could like do the thing where it flips over your wrist and you're going back and forth and doing stuff. I used to just sit there and like stand there just killing time in my house when I was like watching it.
Didn't end up in the hospital.
No. They
job.
were luckily, they had a light layer of foam around the hard part of it. So when I did hit myself a few times, it didn't like knock me out.
You did better than April O'Neil did in the
Yes,
70s.
right. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right.
All right, so continue.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just finish up what I was saying. Definitely, pure voting. I'm gonna vote both of them nostalgia,
Yeah.
but I am glad they exist because I do want to show them to my kids. I think they are great kids movies. And I have a little funny interesting piece of trivia. They're going to make a comic version of the first movie for its 35th anniversary, I think, this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just a comic version.
A comic version of the
first.
first movie, which
I could see that working.
is a little weird, but yeah.
I could see that working. That'd be just kind of fun.
Okay, anyway, I'm done.
All right. I guess I'll go next. First movie, I watched it again today. I've seen it actually multiple times. Holds up. I don't think it's nostalgia. I think it's actually a fairly well done movie, especially considering the budget, its target demographic, all the stuff that it had going against it. Its weird premise. They somehow kept it fun, yet also kept it grounded. So I think adults and kids can watch it fairly easily. So I think it's actually a pretty good movie overall. Second one, absolutely nostalgic. It's fun, but it's just a live action version of the cartoons. So that's mine.
All right.
What you got, Andy?
For me, it was, oh my god, is this going to be nightmare fuel? Looking at those turtles in the beginning. And then, for me, I didn't have context for what they were going for. Because I was like, oh, is this an honest attempt at a, superhero movie? Or what are they trying to make? Did they think that the jokes were good? Or did they think that the East Asian kind of, of like Kung Fu Master kind of thing, are they making fun or not? Because literally my second line watching the movie was, is it satire? Was my question mark in like 10 minutes
If you
in.
didn't have your base in the 87 cartoon,
Yeah.
then you would be like, what is going on here? But after you think about it, and or after if you've seen those cartoons or at least know what they're about, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and I could...
It is serious, but it's also not serious.
After finding out more information, especially the first movie, I could see it's just literally comic book panels of like going from this to this to this, and I'm like, I could see that all of them were taken out of a comic book. Each panel was made into like in the scene. They were like
actually
these weird
makes me
beats.
want that comic
Yeah.
even more that he was just talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
Because it
and
actually
so-
could do that.
No, the
I'll probably
Splinter
be buying
thing
that.
is the Splinter yell is in the comic book. Mm-hmm. There are like several shots when they burst in and then Splinter's missing. That's again in the comic book, like exactly like how they shot it. So for me, there's still nostalgia. Because I think the first, maybe it's just I don't like that way of a movie. It feels a little bit of jerkiness in how it's made. The second one is maybe they figured out how to smoothen it, but then they went let's make it ultra kids friendly. And as much as I would have loved to have seen this as a kid, I'm not a kid anymore. So I have to see. I can't go back and imagine it. So I have to see it through my eyes. And in the beginning, when they were yelling "excellent" and this and that, I was just like, what is this? Kind of like what did I?
I guess it's one of those things where I was just so that was part of their culture, part of everything. Cowabunga, dude, excellent. Like Pete gnarly, like all that stuff. That was all turtles.
It's all surfer dude.
All the
talk.
surfer dude talk and stuff like that was the turtles, and every kid knew that at the time going into that movie. So nobody even even parents knew it at the time. So nobody even blinked at that, I guess. But
Yeah.
without having that base, I can see your point.
Where I was just like, the whole New Yorker thing was weird. And then Raphael just goes out and he just puts on a top hat and then this.
Yeah, I'm going to
trench
see a
coat.
movie.
And they're like, this guy's okay in New York. Everyone's like, yeah, that's another normal New Yorker going there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just okay.
It's dark. You don't see him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It did fit in that zone of like late 80s, early 90s of like this really dark. Everything that's set in New York is fucking grimy and it's like shot mostly in the night and it's like they're making Dark City or something again. But for me, it's really nostalgia for me. Second one, initially I hated the Vanilla Ice thing, but as a campy thing, I love it now.
Go
Of
ninja,
like
go
him
ninja,
being
go.
there.
Word to your mother.
That's fuck. I don't know how to take that. Did he insult me or what was that?
Word to
was
your mother,
just-
something Vanilla Ice said, and he also
Yeah.
always like did this.
It's the thing
to
he
be the
did.
V.
Oh, the vanilla.
Yeah.
Just he didn't want to be Spock, so
Yeah, I
he
guess
did
not.
Vanilla ice, babe.
Well, there's a lot of wrong answers here.
Holy shit!
Uh,
But let me explain why. I will fully admit, like when it comes to like having nostalgia for something, look at all the shit I brought with me. Obviously, I have a lot of nostalgia for the Ninja Turtles, but saying that these are nostalgia and not cool, I 100% say is wrong, and here's why. You specifically said they're both nostalgia, but you're excited to show them to your kids. You said that they're nostalgia because you don't like them right now, but you could see how kids. We're not the target audience. So I would say if these came out today, they absolutely would still be cool because they are meant for kids. And the kids would still like them, in my opinion. So that makes them still cool.
And I'm also
mean-
looking at them as like I'm actually giving them the benefit of being a kids movie. So
Yeah.
if this was trying to be some highbrow like sci-fi or action epic or something like that, I might be a little harder on it. But I'm also factoring in that target demographic is kids, so you can let some of that stuff slide, and I'm okay with that. But
Yeah, and then like
I mean-
the Ninja Turtles are literally still here today. They're still making cartoons. They're still making movies. The Michael Bay ones are atrocious. We say Michael Bay. He didn't direct them. He was a producer on them, but they're garbage.
I appreciate there were different sizes in there though. Like
I
in the
hated the
turtles,
monster
that one of
turtles.
them was a little bigger and all that.
They're
but,
not
yeah.
supposed to be giant monsters.
I know. I know.
But no, my point is like saying like, yes, I will fully admit that like I still think they're cool because I have huge nostalgia for them. I grew up, I loved Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. Like I had seen every movie, had watched all the cartoon stuff. I had Ninja Turtle bed sheets and curtains. Like I was super
So you could
into
say you're
Ninja
probably
Turtles.
a little biased.
Yes.
Which means we shouldn't trust your opinion.
Yes, but I'm calling that out that yes, I'm a little biased because I love them, but I'm like, I'm also not the target audience for me. Even though I still enjoy it, I still read some of the comics because we were talking about The Last Ronin. I have those. But the fact that you can say they're nostalgia, but you're excited to show them to your kids because you think your kids will like them, that's the target audience. So if your kids watch them and think they're cool,
so what do you think though?
Hold
for
on
one
a
and
sec.
two,
He thinks at least the first one's cool.
Well, I know that's he hasn't.
maybe
Yeah,
I'll-
we haven't got. To that.
I'm saying that I believe they are both cool.
Both cool?
Okay.
Yes, I still like one better as an adult. But again, I'm thinking from the eyes of a child. A child would probably actually still enjoy two more than one because it's more cartoony.
Okay.
But
Rebuttal.
I would say they probably would still enjoy both.
I'm ready for my rebuttal. Kids like Coco Melon. Okay.
This is true.
I wouldn't say
Minecraft movie.
Coco Melon is cool. No, Minecraft movie. Ooh, we can talk about that sometime. But my point is, at least my opinion, even if it's a children's movie, I'm gonna judge it on its characteristics as a movie, and that's why I think it's nostalgia.
Yeah, you're
Even
you're
if
up to
kids
your
would like
opinion, that's fine. I was just saying, if you look at it from the
That's
aspect
fine,
of
and it's wrong.
He just told
It
me I
is.
was wrong.
It is wrong. You're entitled to have your wrong opinion. Absolutely.
Oh God.
But I'm saying it is
very
kind of
supportive.
funny that you're like, it's nostalgia. I didn't like them, but I'm gonna go show them to my kids. Like I was like,
Yeah, but just
if your
because
kids
they
enjoy them, that means you were wrong.
just because they think it's cool doesn't mean it's cool. Sorry.
Just saying. Well, with that note, yeah, let us know what you think, and please, if anyone thinks Ninja Turtles 3 is good, just go away.
Actually, don't say that. Actually, don't even write in the comments or anything about Turtles 3 like at all. It's just not worth. It's not worth the
straight
time.
to video kind of thing?
Nope, it was in theaters because I saw it in theaters.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry for you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big old.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, that's another episode on the books. So do all the liking, subscribing, the commenting, the sharing, all the things. And I'm Mike. Got Andy. I'm Mike.
Wow.
I'm Mike.
Did you drink all this before you came over?
Here's funny. I was editing another episode that he ran, and he started with "I'm Mike," and so I literally was like, "I'm Mike." Sorry, I'm not Mike today. Maybe next time. I'm Jeffrey. Got Andy.
I'm Andy.
Mike.
The mics.
The
douche.
The
The
real
juice.
mics.
Dude, I just keep saying
Stop
douche.
calling me a douche, for God's
the
sake.
No,
douche over here.
I said I'm mic'd. What were you guys?
Oh, you're
I'm
mic'd.
mic'd.
Oh,
I'm mic'd, and I'm
right.
Jeffrey.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you later. We're out.
Peace.
See ya.
I'm Mike.
Oh
my God, Michelangelo?
Hopefully Opus clips.
I
picks
did
up
like
that.
Michelangelo.
We
as a
are all
kid.
Mike today.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We're all Mike on this sacred day.
Yes.